Well, hello, and I'm delighted to be able to spend just a few moments with you during this conference. I hope you're going to enjoy it and be blessed by the conference and learn more about how using our communication skills, our gain skills, to share hope. Now, I'm purposely recording this in the garden because I've been asked to talk about my recent experience, and my recent experience left me lying in bed in a hospital ward, looking out the window on oxygen, struggling just to walk from the bed to the bathroom, holding a oxygen container and looking out the window and thinking, will I ever be able to do those lovely hikes and walks that I so love doing? When you're struggling with oxygen just to walk a short distance. When you're lying in bed and actually you've fallen asleep and suddenly you wake up and find your bed surrounded by a doctor and nurses and professional medical staff who rush you down to a high dependency unit and put you on a CPAP, a machine that helps force oxygen and air down into your lungs because your oxygen level, your saturation level has gone so low, and you lie there with that air being pushed through your lungs. And it was probably the lowest point of my experience, and I lay there thinking, what's going to happen? What about family? What about friends? Is this it? Am I on the way out? I've kind of theoretically in the past wondered about what thoughts would go through my head if I was in that kind of situation. Would I be anxious, or maybe something else? And the thing that, my brain was a bit fogged up and muddled, but the thing that came through as I was lying there was a peacefulness, an assurance. And that's something that has kept me going, that I've held on to over the last weeks as I've come out of hospital, as gradually my breathing has improved. My first walk that Louisa was hanging onto my side and helping me, I walked 700 steps and I was so out of breath it was ridiculous. And now, just a couple of days ago, I walked 10,000 steps, still a bit out of breath, but I'm seeing progress being made week by week. Telephone calls need to be limited, otherwise I start getting short of breath again. But progress is happening. And as I was lying there in bed, being very well cared for by the hospital staff, the verse that came to my mind is a very familiar one. It's one we probably all know off by heart. And it's Matthew 11, verses 28 to 30, where Jesus says, "Come to me, all ye who are weary and burdened, and I'll give you rest. Place my yoke upon you and learn from me, because I'm gentle and humble, and you will find rest for your souls, because my yoke is pleasant and my burden is light." We could spend a whole sermon talking about what that rest means, but in terms of being stuck in hospital, in a bed, hardly able to walk, with my mind befuddled, with my oxygen levels low, with my chest being short of breath and hurting, and my legs are hurting and shivering, and a lot more, that rest was an assurance that I can rest in Jesus. Whatever physically is going on around me, I can rest in Jesus. And that's really what I've clung on to over this past period of time, as I'm sure you have in your individual situations. It's been a difficult year for all of us. Whatever our challenges and our uncertainties, the things we face, I rejoice that even in my limitations, I rest in Jesus, my hope and my Saviour.